Kansas City, where the lost might roam. Healing house, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. From the shadows of addiction into the light, the healing house whispers, everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds. In the rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the healing house, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands. Guiding hands of kindness, mends across the lands. Through the trials and the tears, the phoenix does rise. In the healing house, see the light in their eyes. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. In the heart of Kansas City, where the lost might roam. Healing house, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. From the shadows of addiction into the light, the healing house whispers, everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds in the rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the healing house, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands. Guiding hands of kindness mends across the lands. Through the trials and the tears, the phoenix does rise. In the healing house, see the light in their eyes. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds.
Hello. Hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jenny Matthews from Q104, and it is my honor to be your MC tonight for our big event here with Healing House. Thank you all for coming. A round of applause because everyone looks so beautiful tonight. Everyone looks so handsome. We appreciate you being here tonight. Right now, I would like to introduce, if he can come up to the stage, John Murphy. John has a very exciting announcement. And while we're waiting for him to make his way up to the stage, we just want to give a round of applause. And if you are one of our sponsors this evening, to stand up so we can recognize you. Thank you so much for being a part of this evening and of Healing House. Okay.
Well, good evening. My name is John Murphy. Back in 2017, I met Bobby Joe when we went to a clothing drive down at Healing House. In fact, Joni Van Horn is here. She said, you ought to come down and donate some clothes. And when I did, Bobby Joe happened to be walking down the street, and they had just bought the building for the RCC. And she said, oh, honey, come and see our new building. And I said, all right, sure. I went down there, and the hulk of this place, I thought, what's going to happen here? Well, I watched in the next year and a half that turn into an incredible building. In 2018, I started working on the building crew, and the first house I went into, again, I thought, wow, we should probably just tear this down, but we ended up rehabbing it and turning it into a beautiful, beautiful place. And the whole transformation that Bobby Joe does and Healing House does is incredible, and that's really the message here, that everyone and everything she touches becomes something better. So the reason I'm up here tonight is in April 28th of 2025, we're having our 8th annual golf tournament. Hey, show of hands, who knows we've had 7 golf tournaments before? Okay, and who has played in them? Okay, I see a lot of hands that didn't go up, and one of the things we know that we're going to be able to have a great golf tournament coming up here in April of 2025. It's going to be, we're moving it to Oakwood Country Club, which is a really beautiful environment. And really, the reason I'm up here is I would love to ask for help. We've got a great team, we've got a great group of people that always play, but we're always looking for new teams, and we're looking for new sponsors, and mostly we're looking for new ideas. So if you'd like to help with the golf tournament, come see me. I'm going to be right down here at this table. And really, it's a whole idea that we're going to be able to move forward with. And if I was Bobby Joe, I'd say, oh, honey, come play in the golf tournament. But I don't have that ability. So Bobby Joe, if she tells you to, we look forward to seeing you out there on April 28th. You know, I'm just amazed at this organization. I'm amazed by the staff, and I'm amazed by all the people who get help here. So thank you for participating in this event tonight. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Jim West, and Jim is the lead pastor at Colonial Presbyterian Church. Jim has a heart for service and a passion for guiding others in their faith journey. Pastor Jim is a dedicated leader. He inspires his congregation, the community, and helping them find Christ. With his wisdom and passion and leadership make him a lasting impact, and we're really honored to have Jim West. So Jim, here he comes.
Thank you. It's a great privilege to be here tonight. I saw Bobby Joe just a second ago. Hey, Bobby Joe. Hey. It's been my privilege to serve at Colonial for the past 16 years. And over that time, it's been one of my greatest joys in Kansas City has been to know Bobby Joe and to watch this ministry grow and to see so many beautiful things about it. And I'm sure that's not my role. I'm supposed to pray so you can eat. But I just want to say, it's the greatest thing anywhere. And I think Bobby Joe is one of the greatest leaders I've ever met in my life, and I consider him my friend. I'm so grateful. And before we pray, I just want to honor my dear friend, Adam Hamilton, and the great congregation here at CORE. What an amazing venue. I have no facility envy at all, none. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord, we just thank you so much for this amazing evening that we get to gather tonight to enjoy food, fellowship, and to tell our stories of how the Healing House has moved our souls to bring glory to you as it brings such hope to our community. So many transformed lives. Lord, I just think of so many of us who've had the privilege of baptizing so many souls, over 100 a year, every year. Lives who have been snatched out of the fire, who have been transformed through the power of the gospel, through the love of this incredible community called the Healing House. So many stories that will be told for eternity, for the glory of God. We thank you for this amazing leader in Bobby Joe. We ask you to say hi to us, to Miss Judy, and we look forward to seeing what you continue to do in this phenomenal ministry. I pray that those that are gathered tonight will have hearts of generosity and have the vision to see the way that you are at work through this great ministry, that we might be part of that ministry in our giving, in our volunteering, in our prayers, in our friendship. We ask now that you bless this food and our time together. In Jesus' name, amen. You're welcome.
lost my own. Healing house, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. From the shadows of addiction into the light, the healing house whispers, everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds. In the rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the healing house, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands. Guiding hands of kindness, mends across the lands. Through the trials and the tears, the phoenix does rise. In the healing house, see the light in their eyes. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. In the heart of Kansas City, where I lost my own. Healing house, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. From the shadows of addiction into the light, the healing house whispers, everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds. rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the healing house, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands. Guiding hands of kindness mends across the lands. Through the trials and the tears, the phoenix does rise. In the healing house, see the light in their eyes. Welcome home, where the broken find their man. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their man. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home, where the broken find their man. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. In the heart of Kansas City, where the lost might roam, healing house, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. From the shadows of addiction into the light, the healing house whispers, everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their man. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds. In the rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the healing house, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands. Guiding hands of kindness mends across the lands. Through the trials and the tears, the phoenix does rise. In the healing house, see the light in their eyes. Welcome home, where the broken find their man. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. home where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Welcome home where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. In the heart of Kansas City, where the lost might roam, Healing House, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. From the shadows of addiction into the light, the Healing House whispers, everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing House stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds. In the rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the Healing House, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands. Guiding hands of kindness mends across the lands. Through the trials and the tears, the phoenix does rise. In the Healing House, see the light in their eyes. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing House stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds.
For 22 years, Healing House has been a beacon of hope, demonstrating biblical love to those in need of addiction recovery. Our mission has always been clear: to welcome home those seeking a fresh start, to provide a safe and loving environment for healing and transformation. But now in 2024, we are excited to continue that tradition and take it to new heights. While we remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a welcoming home, we have expanded our services to include the highest level of clinical addiction counseling. Welcome home has always been our mantra, and today we are proud to say welcome to clinical recovery. Each person who walks through our doors brings a unique story, a journey of struggle and hope. And here at Healing House, they find more than just a place to stay. They find a community that believes in them, supports them, and walks alongside them every step of the way. With our expanded services, we now offer the highest accredited, comprehensive, personalized care that addresses not only the spiritual and emotional aspects of recovery, but also the clinical and medical needs. Our dedicated team of professionals is here to ensure that every individual receives the best possible care on their path to healing. And tonight, we are proud to highlight that Healing House is the only peer-to-peer addiction recovery program in the state of Missouri that offers the highest level of accredited care. This unique approach fosters deep connections and mutual support, creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Tonight, as we celebrate this remarkable journey, we warmly invite you to join us in this ongoing transformation. Your support and generosity make everything we do possible. Together, let's keep changing lives, offering hope, and extending a warm welcome to those seeking a new beginning. Thank you for joining us at the Welcome Hope Gala 2024. Let's make tonight unforgettable, and let's keep bringing hope, healing, and love to those who need it most. Welcome home, and welcome to recovery.
Welcome, everyone. Again, I'm Jenny Matthews from Q104, and a moment ago somebody asked me, why are you here? And I do have a story to tell, and I'll share that in just a few minutes. First of all, thank you all for coming. I think the room looks amazing tonight, and it's so wonderful to have such a big crowd here. I've got a couple pieces of business I need to take care of. One is that there is an apparel store. I think we have a slide that's supposed to pop up about that. Yes. I just myself went on it last night and ordered a shirt because I wanted to see what it was all about. It is extremely simple. It just takes a few minutes. And the idea is to get Healing House out there so more people know about the wonderful work that's being done here. So if you can get the QR code, you can just take a picture of that, scan that with your phone, and it'll link you up to the shop, or just go right. I just went directly to that address there, and I linked up right to it. Anyway, didn't take very long at all, and I got a very cute long sleeve purple shirt. It says Healing House. Also wanted to give a round of applause tonight, please, to our board members. Thank you, everyone. If you could stand if you're a board member, just so we can acknowledge you and thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you so much. And we also want to give a big thank you to our sponsors tonight. Again, a round of applause for Church of the Resurrection, First Interstate Bank, A.L. Huber, Central Bank of Kansas City, Green Lighting Services, J.E. Dunn Construction, and Staco. So thank you all very much. So, why am I here? I am Jenny Matthews. I'm from Q104. I am also the sister of a guy named Jimmy. I'm going to tell you all about him in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you, a couple of years ago, I was backstage at the Jason Aldean concert. Do we have any country music fans in this room? Okay. So Jason Aldean, we were backstage and just chit-chatting with him, and all of a sudden, a big guy entered the room. Face tattoos, booming voice. I asked everybody around me, who is that guy? And somebody said, oh, that's a guy named Jelly Roll. He's playing a show at a smaller venue across the street, and he's got a country album coming out soon. So he came over to our venue just to kind of mingle with everybody. He could not have been any nicer. I was completely intrigued by his presence. He didn't look like your average country star. He focused more on rock and rap with his music that he'd released up until that point. So the music fanatic in me was completely intrigued, and I got to work. I started researching who was this guy and what was this guy all about anyway. Well, what I found out was even more fascinating. He had songs about addiction. I found out that he'd been in prison for using and selling drugs, armed robbery. This guy had a major past, but he owned it. He sang about it, and while I'm sure he was embarrassed about a lot of it, he was using his story to relate, to let people in similar situations know that they're not alone. He seemed like hope. And I thought, if this guy can overcome the life he was living and use his story in what I think is one of the most powerful ways, music, that he could change lives. So I waited, and not too long after meeting Mr. Jason D. Ford, that's his real name, otherwise known as Jelly Roll, his debut country album, Whitsitt Chapel, was released, and I listened to it top to bottom without skipping a single song. I had never felt so much emotion listening to an album, and I felt my brother. I felt him with me. My brother Jimmy was 3 years older than me, and we were truly the best of friends growing up. We climbed trees. We jumped into big piles of leaves in the fall. We got lost in the woods all day long. We caught crayfish in the creek. We were pals. But don't be fooled, because he also loved to torture me in the way that big brothers do. He loved to tickle my feet until I would pee my pants. He would laugh wildly at that. He thought that was hilarious. He enjoyed ripping the heads off my Barbie dolls. He also enjoyed creating a war zone in my really pretty Barbie land. He would take his G.I. Joe figures and just kind of wreck the whole thing. I would cry, I would scream, my mom would start yelling at all of us. It was a very special time for our family. We were siblings, we did what siblings do. We loved hard, and we fought hard too. When he was about 15, so I would have been about 12, my mom found some drugs in his room. She found some weed, she found some mushrooms, and not long after that, she found evidence that he had been sniffing glue, and eventually she found a bunch of empty vodka bottles. My mom informed us that she was admitting him into a facility for 30 days. She didn't know what that even meant or what to do. We had never experienced anyone with addiction before or anything like that. He came home, and things were good for a little while, and then fights, lies, crime, arrests, more drugs, more alcohol, and it just kept getting worse. So my mom told us that she was admitting him into another treatment center, and this time it was way more intense. It was a year-long program. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Straight. I don't even know if it exists anymore. But it was a very integrative program. As a family, we drove about 2 hours 3 times a week for family meetings so we could help with his recovery. On the weekends, we'd have groups of recovering addicts actually in the program, like stay at our house, and that required all kinds of preparation and alarms. While my teenage friends were going to the mall and movies and having sleepovers, I was just in crisis mode, trying to help my brother gain control of his life. We were trying to save him. About a year later, he turned 18 while in the Straight program, and since he was legally an adult at that point, he checked himself out. And we were all pretty hopeful at that point because that was his longest stretch of sobriety, and he was doing really well. He entered the Army, but he had asthma, so he wasn't able to keep up, and he was discharged. He came home to try to figure out what to do next, and unfortunately, he met up with people that he used to associate with, and he started using again. And the cycle started again, only this time it got worse day by day. He started using heroin. He disappeared. Months would go by with no word from him, and it was truly awful not knowing where he was, if he was even alive. And then we'd get a phone call, and he'd swear he wasn't using. He would tell us he was working and that he was trying, and he was just struggling, and he would ask for money. And I can't tell you how many times we gave in with a glimmer of hope that he was telling the truth, only to have him disappear again, and sometimes he'd disappear for years. He'd call, usually from jail, and he would ask my mom to bail him out, and sometimes she would. He'd promise to pull it together, and inevitably he would not. He would disappear again, and really that went on for a long time. So fast forward to 2012, and by this time, I had a baby girl. She was just 2 years old, and another baby, a boy this time, on the way. I was very pregnant the day he called. I had not heard from him for at least 2 years. He didn't come right out and ask, but he was hinting about wanting a fresh start, and he wanted to leave Baltimore, that's where I'm from, and head out to Kansas City. My brother, I loved him so much. I wanted to help him, but I also knew that after years of what was honestly just enabling him, the likelihood of him moving here and leaving his demons behind was pretty unlikely. I felt really selfish. I felt selfish because here I was with a nice home and a great job and a beautiful growing family, and telling him no felt like I was rejecting him. But my gut and heart just told me that I had to protect myself and my family. He was about 20 years into his battle with heroin addiction at that point, and from everything I had learned over the years, this wasn't something that he could just promise to quit. It would take incredible strength, a true desire to get clean, a support system of knowledgeable people that could show him the way. And I have a lot of guilt over what would become my final phone call with Jimmy. I told him I couldn't help him, but that I loved him with every ounce of my heart and that I would be here for him if he could get clean. So I gave birth to my baby boy that December, and about 5 months later, I was balancing motherhood with my radio job. I was on Mix 93.3 at the time. I don't know if anybody listens to that station. I got a phone call on the hotline during my show on Wednesday, May 29th, 2013, and it was my mom, and she was hysterical. The sounds I heard coming from her over the phone were unlike anything I'd ever heard from her before. And this call was different. And this was the call that I knew I was going to get one day. And I thought I had mentally prepared myself for it, but I know now that that's completely impossible. She told me that my big brother Jimmy was dead. His body was found in the middle of a street, literally, in downtown Baltimore. He would have been a John Doe, but I do look for blessings in all things, and the biggest blessing about that day was that he happened to have an ID card in his back pocket. And the only reason he had that ID card is because after I told him he couldn't come to Kansas City, my aunt took him in, and bless her for it, because he had burned that bridge so many times. She took him to get an ID card, and I don't know why, but I feel like it was a total God thing because, like I said, he would have been a John Doe, and we would have never even known that he was dead. He was found with lethal levels of heroin and alcohol in his system. He was gone. He was cremated, and we received his ashes. I'm sorry. A couple months later, my mom, my sister, and I traveled to South Florida to the most beautiful beach. White sand and the most peaceful blue-green water. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal to throw ashes in the ocean, but so don't tell anyone, but we did. We cried and we prayed, and it was so sad. But I also felt so much peace because he was finally at peace. I had a dream about him shortly after that, and it was honestly so real that if I close my eyes to this day, I can remember it so vividly. In the dream, he was looking directly at me, and he kind of cupped my face with his hands. And over, he just kept telling me, I'm okay, I'm happy, I'm at peace, and I love you. If there's one thing I can tell you about my relationship with Jimmy, it's that he was super protective of me. Even though he was a walking disaster most of the time, I knew if anyone ever harmed me in any way, he would absolutely take care of business. That only got weird when I started dating and now married my husband. He's right here. He's a wonderful man. And that got weird because he's a really good guy and he didn't need to protect me from him. But he loved me. He protected me, and I loved him. I couldn't understand why he couldn't just quit. I've been on a quest to figure out why, and I've learned so much over the years, but nothing has helped me to get it like the story Bobby Joe has so openly, honestly, and freely shared about her journey through addiction. Addiction touches so many people, all walks of life, all income levels, all races, men, women, kids. It does not discriminate. I started seeing the number 444 everywhere after he died. On the clock, kitchen timers, gas pumps, receipt totals. The weirdest was on my birthday. I was treating myself to an Andy's frozen custard, which is delicious, by the way, and I recommend it. On your birthday, you should absolutely do that. But I clicked my rewards button to get my little code to get points, and the number was 444 on my birthday. So there were a lot of examples of that, and it just kept going on. And I talked about it on my radio show, and I kind of jokingly asked my audience if maybe it was a sign I should play the lottery or something. And a very sweet listener called the show, and she said, you know, Jenny, you should Google angel numbers. And so I did, and here's what it said about 444. The presence of your lost loved one as a way to comfort you, an angel message of protection and love. I choose to believe that Jimmy is with our Lord and my Savior, Jesus Christ, and is now my own personal angel. I feel him with me all the time. A couple months ago, I got 444 tattooed on my foot, by the way. I started off talking about Jelly Roll, and it's been so cool watching his rise to fame. I think what's wild about today is his second album just got released today, full of songs all about all of this. And I think what's incredible about it, too, is the name of the album is Beautifully Broken, and that's the name of Bobby Joe's book. He has a song called I Am Not Okay. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but some of the lyrics, I know I can't be the only one who's holding on for dear life, but God knows I know when it's all said and done, I'm not okay, but we're all going to be all right, and we are all going to be all right. I speak out about my brother because I want to honor his memory. He made mistakes, he tried, he failed so many times to get sober, and ultimately he overdosed and died. But he mattered, and we all matter. Mental health, I speak out about that a lot. I have my own struggles with it. I'm positive that my brother had some form of if he had some form of mental health care, that maybe he would be here today. We have to break the stigma on that. It's very important. One of my sweet listeners, and she's here tonight, Sandra. I don't know where you are. Sandra's here. She caught up with me at a radio station event, and she was so excited. She told me about Healing House. She said, you've got to learn about Bobby Joe. You have to know Bobby Joe. She was passionate about it. So she gave me the link to the documentary, and I knew after watching that I needed to know her. I knew I needed to get involved with this recovery organization. I feel close to Jimmy by doing these things. I actually truly feel him in this room tonight. I wish he could have met Bobby Joe. I wish he could have lived in one of the recovery homes. I wish he had known about Healing House. I thank you for letting me share about my brother tonight. Recovery is possible, and while his story did not have a happy ending, I believe by using his story and sharing about the danger of drugs and the raw, real story of how addiction took over his entire being, maybe it'll help someone to say no. My kids know all about it, probably to a fault, and it's my hope that they share that with their peers. He would have loved them so very much. Finally, another lyric from Jelly Roll's song, I'm Not Okay. I know one day we'll see the other side, the pain will wash away in a holy water tide, and we're all going to be all right. Thank you, Bobby Joe, for being a light in the darkness to so many, for being my friend, and for helping me to understand. I said this the other day after we had a meeting, I feel the presence of Jesus when I am around her. Does anybody else feel that way? She is a precious gift, and I'm honored to know her and to be a part of all of this and to speak tonight to all of you. So thank you very much for having me.
House first started, there was no clinical services, and slowly, as the years have gone by, more and more clinical services have been added. We do have CARF accreditation, which is incredible, and we are working towards opening more clinical services in the near future. We are applying to be able to bill the Missouri Department of Mental Health for more services, including family services. That is what we are really lacking at Healing House. We know that people who have their family involved in their recovery are much more likely to achieve recovery for life than those who don't. Most of the staff who work directly with clients have some type of credential, whether that's certified peer specialist or whether that is one of the many substance use disorder certifications that is provided by the state of Missouri. Substance use disorder doesn't just show up one day, right? There's a lot of things that lead us down that path. And it's usually trauma is what starts it, quite frankly. And without the ability to heal that trauma, and without the ability to not only heal that trauma, but fill it with something else. And for Healing House, not only do they use the information, the education that's provided in all of the groups, but they also provide a faith. And faith is really important to a lot of people's recovery journey. And without it, they're not able to fully heal. So I think that it's a combination of the education, of the clinical work that takes place on people's trauma and their core reason that they use substances, and to gain in their faith journey. I think all three of those things are the perfect formula that make Healing House so unique and special.
And now I would like for Bobby Joe to come up to the stage. Let's give her the warmest welcome we can. This incredible woman.
Oh, thanks, guys. That's awesome. I love the gala. Thank you so much for coming out. I get to see a bunch of great friends that it just touches my heart every time I get to see you guys, and I smiled a whole lot over there. And Darla was acting all clinical in her video. Let me tell you something. So, first off, I want to thank all my kids and all the people behind the scenes that worked so hard. I've got the best kids in the world. Darla was acting all clinical, right? So I go to Myrtle Beach on vacation in November, and I end up shopping for all my children because there's a great store down there. So I was shopping, and I have this gal that will ship it home very cheap for me. Well, she wasn't there, and I had bought a ton of stuff. So I broke the news to Darla. I said, okay, here's the deal. We're going to have to rent a vehicle and drive home. She said, what? I said, yeah, we're not going to fly home. We're going to rent a vehicle. And then it got a little more challenging. So we found a bin store on Thursdays. Everything was $8. Really nice designer clothes. We filled that puppy up. All I had was this little dip so I could see out the back. It gets better. We're driving through Kentucky mountains. Accidentally, I was going like, I don't know, 115 miles an hour. But the van was so full, it was just gliding. It was just gliding. And she looked over and she said, are we going 115? I said, I guess we are. So about 17 hours in, I said, honey, I got to get a few hours sleep. And she said, okay, and she got on her little phone looking for a hotel. I said, oh, no. We're not going to waste money on a hotel. We're going to sleep at a truck stop. And she said, no, we're not. I said, oh, yeah, we are. I only need 3 hours. So she said, if you make me sleep at a truck stop, I'm going to tell my mom. I said, don't tell your mom. We won't be able to play together anymore. So we got a truck stop. I put a towel under the visors, and I slept like a baby for 3 hours. So she's acting all clinical, but she's a rock star. You know what? God is so good. Over 21 years ago, more than that, when I got sober, first off, I didn't know why God was keeping me alive, because when I was living under that boxcar next to the liquor store every day, I just wanted to not wake up again because I didn't want to go through the hell again. And I would even say, why can't I just die? I just want to die, so it would stop. And thank you for sharing, honey. I know how difficult that is. But I wanted to die, and I didn't know why I couldn't die. And today I know exactly why I didn't die, because God had a plan for my life. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful that He preserved me through all of my stuff and that He gave me a gift. See, when you start pouring yourself out to other people, God fills you up. And see, I went my whole life with filling whiskey. You got a God hole. We're all born with the God hole right here. I tried to fill mine up with crack pipes and whiskey bottles and men and everything else. But until you put God at the center of your being, you never feel comfortable inside your own skin. And I'm so grateful that God chose me to take up residence in me and get a hold of my life and take control instead of me. I tell people I've never had to work a day in my life since I found Christ, and that's the truth, because when you're serving, you're not working. And I'm like, ask anybody, I'm like a little Energizer bunny. Me and Judy used to call it God juice, but we didn't know if everybody would get that, so we just thought, this is Judy's necklace too, my best friend that passed away. This is her necklace, so she's here with us in spirit, I know that. But, so when I got sober, I got sober because of chocolate chip cookie. Watch a movie, you'll figure that one out. I started taking baked goods to the detox and hygiene products, and I started carrying the message, the 12-step message, anywhere where they would let me talk, because I was so grateful for what God had done in my life, and I wanted to share the good news with everybody, right? And so I was going everywhere, and what I found out, there were 900 women going through treatment in Kansas City with less than 30 beds for these women. People did men's recovery homes, but no women's. And so it was put on my heart to do something to help these single women. There were places for women with children, but no places for single women. So that's where we go. I bought an old nursing home in the hood with my inheritance. And my little saying is, God is good in the hood, because he really has to be. It was rough when I got there. And I got an old nursing home and rehabbed it, sold my home out in Kansas to pay for it, and 2 months later, the dope man moved in next door, ran prostitutes, sold dope, carried a pistol in front of his breeches, would brandish that occasionally. So I claimed a hedge of protection around me and my family, and a year and a half later, we got the dope man's house. And now, yeah. And I'm telling you, this was like the wild, wild west down there. Guns, gangs, pimps, prostitute, drugs dealers, they're all gone now. We've been there almost 21 years, and our streets are clear. It's incredible. So not just the transformation that he does in our individual lives, the transformation that he's done in our community, and each house that we've taken over have been dope houses and abandoned homes, and we've been able to rehab and make them. We got some laid out houses, I'm telling you, they really look nice. And when you walk into them, you feel like you're at grandma's house, where you can take that deep breath and just chill. When I first got there, little kids in the neighborhood would come over. And of course, I'm trying to feed them, right? Are you hungry, baby? They're like, no. Can I just come in here and sit for a while? They just wanted some peace. And you can feel that. If you go in any of our homes, you can feel the presence of God. And it just feels like you can breathe, right? And so now I think we're working on house 17. So it started, you know, it just blows me out of the water, and I give God all the glory. But we started with women's homes, and then a guy gave me a house that was in an even worse area than the others, and I knew I couldn't put single women there, so then I started men's housing, which, oh boy, let me tell you. You know how you guys are when you're sick? You turn into King Baby. Those men were off the charts, and men gossip just as bad as women. You know how y'all get a cold and you think you're dying? I had one house with 40 men in it, and I was running it. Let me tell you, I've seen grown men throw themselves on the desk and say, I'm dying. I'm like, honey, you got a cold, get up. Anyway, so we went for that, then men, and then I had women come in that were pregnant, and there was an abandoned apartment building a half a block away, and I was peeking in the windows, and the guy said, lady, what do you want? I said, I need this building for my mamas. And we were able to get that building, and we started the top floor, and we remodeled one apartment at a time. The wood was so petrified, I couldn't even put a screw in to hang curtains. I had to take one of those ice pick things and pound it in before I could get the screw in, because it was breaking the screws off. Window treatments. Back then, I used to go to thrift stores to buy everything for the apartments. And so the mamas, they'd stay at a main house, then they'd go to the hospital to have their baby, and they'd come home to a fully furnished apartment to start their new life with their child. Now we have Aaron's house. The Langhoffers are here. The Longhoffers. Carl, you misspelled his name, and I've heard about it all night. Marcy and Tom, and they're celebrating their 38th wedding anniversary tonight with us. Erin was Tom and Marcy's daughter that was unfortunately taken home down at First Friday a few years back, and we have a house in Erin's honor, and that is for mothers with one child. And we've got 5 lovely women living there with their kiddos, and it's incredible. And I'm telling you what, the trauma these kids have been exposed to being in an addicted household, we have everything on site. Darla is one of our counselors. Lavina, are you here? Lavina's one. We got the rock star counselor. Can all my counselors stand up? Cody Griffey. There's Lavina, Darla. And who else? I missed Melissa. They are awesome. God has put together the most amazing team. Darla, when she first met me, she said, I'm never hanging out with that crazy church lady. Guess what? We're buds now. See what God will do. God has taken this from one old nursing home trying to help women. I was just remembering today that I remember the Pink House when it first started. I was trying to learn to twerk. I ain't rocking with nothing back there, no twerking for me. And how much fun we've had. We were a family. That's how we've always operated. We've been a family. We eat together, we hang out together, we have fun together, we love one another. We are moving to a whole, it floors me. We have 200 people that live with us every day and 30 kids. There's been 14,000 people come through our homes and lived with us. That's pretty incredible. And not everybody has maintained sobriety, but a lot have. And I'm telling you what, the ones that don't stay or don't achieve sobriety now, we're the first place they think about when they're ready to get it. I get phone calls in the middle of the night, Mom, can I come home? I'm like, yeah, baby, where you at? That love, see, there's clinical organizations, right? Here's what I've always known. I wanted to be able to provide treatment along with all the love and support that we give, right? And what I've seen throughout the years, there's organizations that just keep people engaged for a long time for this. It should never be about that. It should be about loving people and helping people from your core of your being, right? It's not about that. If you are doing the next right thing, God will bless that and keep you going. People say, how have you done this? You must be a genius. I'm not a genius. I'm not a real estate mogul. I don't know much, but I do know how to love people. And that's what I do best. And so this direction, I thought one day we're going to be able to help people. And it's not going to be about the almighty buck. We're going to be different than those other organizations. We're not going to sell out. And you know, I go down and talk to senators and representatives. They know my name. That's pretty cool. Who would ever think that? My big brother's here. Who would ever think that, Greg? That's pretty incredible stuff. Bob Carr, where are you? Bob, could you stand up? That's Bob Carr, you guys. I need to mention Bob. And I want to mention Bob for one reason. I had the Pink House. I was trying to buy the dope man's house, and I didn't have any money. And I called Bob. He was my banker at UMB, and I called him, and I said, Bob, can you come look at this house? And bless his heart, he had a business suit on and white socks, Bob. We won't talk. Anyway, he had white socks on. And I said, honey, there's fleas everywhere in here. And he said, okay, let's go. And he rolled up his little pants with his white socks. His white socks were covered with fleas. And he was such a trooper, he still gave me the loan for the house. Fleas and all. He said, okay, we'll do it. Bob we didn't have much money then. I had my mom's wedding rings going in and out of pawn. I pawned my truck a couple times just to keep the lights on because my women didn't have any money, right? And they were coming from prison or off the streets. We had to keep it going. And I'd call Bob and say, Bob, I got a check coming in 3 days or next Monday. And he'd say, I got you. You're covered. Bob, let me tell you, that does not happen anymore. And thank God for you and having my back and having the ministry back. So Carl is our new development director. He's probably having a seizure somewhere because I'm talking too long. But did you guys enjoy the food? Amen. Okay. I know I got to shut up soon. At some point, I want to play that Welcome Home song louder so we can listen to it. I know we have a couple other videos. Let's see. Are we ready for the video? I don't want to run too long. We got a lot of exciting stuff. When I come back up, I'm going to tell you about where we're heading and how we need your support to make it happen. And thank you, guys. God bless you all for coming. You guys are awesome, and we need you guys. So many of you have been volunteers, financial supporters, prayer supporters, and we could not do it without you. And all the helping hands. There's John. You guys know John Murphy? Raise your hand. John Murphy came on board. He joined the Thursday construction guys, and you would have thought he won some kind of prize. He came down smiling from ear to ear, and he said, they let me cut a hole in your house. I'm like, I'm so happy, John. It was for a door, thank God. Anyway, thank you for all the caring hearts, all my colonial friends, Bible studies every Monday night. Randall, thank you guys. You're amazing, and I can't say how much I appreciate you, and thank you for loving my kids and helping me to be able to continue the mission. And I am the most blessed girl in the world to get to do what I do every day. Guess what? Those are all my kids, and I get to see miracles every day of my life. I'm going to shut up. I'll be back after all. Thank you, guys.
I grew up off 7 Highway in Greenwood, Missouri. I got into substances when I was about 14. My life went downhill, and I was homeless, and my mom actually found the Healing House for me, and I got picked up by Jesse and came in 2020, right before COVID started. I was homeless, living on the streets. It was pretty rough. It was cold winters, and I'm just grateful that I got the opportunity to come back to Healing House. It's undescribable, really. It's just warmness, and the community is so tight-knit. The worries that you have in life really kind of just go away whenever you're that close in a community that cares about one another. It's been great doing outpatient, fatherhood foundations, good dads, trauma classes, really getting to the pinpoints of why I picked up and used in the first place, and coping mechanisms, like healthy coping mechanisms with addiction. It's like a tool belt, and you get different tools to use in different situations, communication skills, parenting skills, relationship skills, just life skills. The clinical services and therapy side of things are really helping me out, coping with triggers, day-to-day things that may be stressful, but now I have resources and tools that I can use to get through those things. If I was sitting here talking to my counselors, I would thank them for the resources, the time, the energy put into helping me become the best version of me. Can you come up here with me? Thank you. Great job. Get the bubbles.
Awesome. So, what's it like to have your kids be a part of your recovery journey?
It's very motivational. It's kind of part of the reason why I wanted to get sober, you know, to do better and to be the best version of me for them and for myself.
Okay, just a reminder, the silent auction is going to be wrapping up really soon. So if there's something that you had your eye on, make sure you take advantage of that. I think we're going to get started with our live auction now. Are we ready for that? Ready to raise some money here for Healing House so the good work can continue? Are we ready with our auction? Do you want me to talk about the first event? We're kind of winging this part. Do you want me to introduce the first event? Okay. Oh. Sorry. Is your mic working? Nope. Hold on, we're having a little technical problem here.
Check one. There we go.
go. Okay.
There we go.
We got it. Okay, do you want me to start with the first item?
Well,
or
I've
do you
got
want
a
to
couple of
introduce yourself
housekeeping
first?
items, if you don't mind. I've got a couple of housekeeping items, if you don't mind. Number one, I want to thank absolutely everybody that showed up today. If it wasn't for you, this isn't going to happen. Isn't that correct, Bobby Joe? Give yourselves a hand. It's going to be I'm going to come down there, I think. It's going to be very hard to see otherwise. And secondly, did you get a bid card? Raise it really high if you would. I just want to see if your elbow works and your bid card's there. All right? And remember, it's not what you spent, it's what you almost spent. That's important. Okay. One other thing, you can bid to me as we go through this process, or Shauna, where are you at? Shauna, there she is in the very back. If you're close to her and you want to bid to her, that's Shauna. She's my bid assistant tonight. She's probably one of the best ring people or bid assistants in the country. So you're lucky to have her here working with you also. So we appreciate you coming out. We trust that you're going to spend a lot of money for a very, very, very worthy cause, as you well know. So without that, I think I'm going to get down on the floor where I can see a little bit, and we'll go from there.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, item number one, experience an exclusive private tour of the magnificent stained glass window at Church of the Resurrection, led by none other than Senior Pastor Adam Hamilton. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity designed for 6 guests and includes dinner with Pastor Adam at a nearby restaurant. Don't miss the chance to witness this breathtaking work of art made even more special by experiencing it alongside the visionary leader behind the church.
Folks, you can have a super time, learn a lot, and still help just by giving. Here we go. And how many dollars there? Everybody give $1,000. Give $1,000, make it down, everybody get $1,000 here, not $1,000, make it down, everybody get $1,000. Everybody, thank you. And $1,250. And $1,000 here and $1,200. Nobody get $1,250. $1,000 here and $1,250. And $1,000 here and $1,200. Nobody get $1,250. I'll tell you what. Help you out. $1,100. And $1,000 here and $1,100. $11,000 here. Everybody get $11. And $11,000. $1,100. All $1,000. Thank you. Hang on. I had 3 numbers in the air. Would you put them back up, please? I took you at 1,100. Would you go 12, sir? $1,200, now 13, and 13 here, now 14, 14, but you get 14, now 1,400, and 13 here, but you get 14, 14, but you get 14, now 1,500, and 14 here, now 15, 15, but you get 1,500, 14 here, now 15, but you get 15, and 1,500, 14 here, and 15, and 14 here, now 15, 15, but you get 50. Anybody else? And 14 here, now 15, 15, but you get 15. It's only money, come on. And 1,500, 14 here, and 1,500, and 15, thank you, now 1,600, and 15 here, now but you get 16, 16, but you get 1,600, and 17, 16 here and 17, sir, and 17, somebody gets 1,700, 16 here and 17, and 16 here and somebody gets 1,700, and 70, you guys want back in, 16 here and 17, and $1,700 is all, and 16 here and somebody gets 1,700, 16 here and somebody gets 17, and 1,700, anybody else? Sold it, $1,600, $1,600. That's your number. 363 is your buyer. 363 is your buyer. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Item number 2. This is for an unforgettable trip to Mexico. Escape to paradise with a 5-night all-inclusive trip for 2 to Mexico. You'll have the opportunity to choose from 6 resorts in 5 different locations: Cancun, Cozumel, is it Mazatlan? Puerto Mazatlan? It sounds lovely.
Great place to go.
Puerto Morelos. I'm screwing all of this up. Anyway, some really great places in Mexico. It's going to be amazing. Whether you're looking for a relaxing beach getaway or an adventure-filled escape, this trip is sure to deliver. You will have 1 year to schedule and up to 2 years to take the trip, which gives you plenty of time to plan the perfect vacation. This could be the dream getaway that you have been waiting for because Mexico is awesome.
Here we go. There's your opportunity. Go to Mexico. Pick out of 1 out of 5 places. Here we go. And how many dollars there? Everybody get 500. If 5, make it 5, make it 5. 600. 5, make it 600. And 5, make it 6, somebody get 6, 7, somebody get 7, 8. And 9, but give $1,000. Now 1,100. And 12, but give 13. And 1,200. Everybody get 13. Everybody get 1,300. And 1,200, 13. 14, you didn't make it. And 14, you didn't make it. And 14, but you give 1,400. 14, 15, 16. And 17, 1,800. And 18 here and 18. Everybody get 1,800. 17 here and 18. And 18, sir, what do you think? 17 here and 18. And 7, I'm 1,700 right here. Need 1,800. 17 here and 18, you're out, Shauna. And 17 here and 18, everybody give $1,800 is all. And 1,700, 18, now 19. And 19, everybody get 1,900. 18 here and 19. 18 here and 19, everybody get 1,900. 18 here and 19, everybody get 1,900. 18 here and 19, anybody else want to go to Mexico? 18 here and 19, everybody get 1,900. 18 here and 19. 18 here and 19, everybody give 1,900. Sold at $1,800. $1,800. Number 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hang on 1 second. Sir, you were the back bidder. Would you pay the same money and do it too? No? I'll tell you what. Raise your hand if you want to go to Mexico for $1,700. Or $1,800. What was it? $1,800, I believe, right? Shauna? Wasn't that 18? Anybody else want to go to Mexico? I'm giving you the opportunity. I really can't, but I'm thinking if you're thinking that hard, you probably really want to go. Anybody else? Raise your hand if you want to go to Mexico for $1,800. Anybody else? What do you think? There you go. What's your number, sir? 362 wants to go to Mexico. Anybody else want to go for the same money? Anybody else want to? You know where it's going. You know where it's going. Healing House. Anybody else? Anybody else want to go to Mexico? All right. If you're done, I am. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Item number 3. This is for 1 year naming rights to the Recovery Community Center. It's your chance to make your mark at Healing House. While most of our homes bear the names of inspiring individuals, the Recovery Community Center has yet to be named. So we're offering a unique opportunity to grant 1 year naming rights to this essential core building where training, meals, celebrations, all of it takes place daily. You can name it after yourself. You can name it after a loved one in honor of someone special. For example, the Grant Family Recovery Community Center. Leave a lasting legacy in the heart of our community.
Here we go, naming rights, right there, your opportunity. And how many dollars there? Everybody give $1,000 and 1,000. What do you get? 2, 2, 3, 3. Everybody get 3,000 and 3, 3. Everybody get. I'm 2 over here. Need 3,000, sir. And everybody give 2,500. 2,000. Everybody get 2,500 and 2,000 here and 25. 25. Everybody get $2,500. I'm 2,000 right here. Need 2,500 and 2,000. Everybody get 25. 25. Everybody get 2,500. Anybody? And 2,000. Everybody give 2,100. 2,000. Everybody get 21 and 2,000. Everybody get 21. 21. Everybody get 21. $100 and 2,000, 2,100 and 2,000 here and 21, 21, but you get 2,100 and 2,000, but you get 21, 21, but you get 21. You weren't in there? Was you in there? I thought. Okay, good. 2,100, 2,000, but you get $2,100 is all, and 2,000, but you get 21, 21, but you get 2,100, 2,000, but you get 2,100, 2,000, but you get thank you, and 21, 2,200, 21, 2, and 21 here and 2, 2, but you get 2, 21 here and 22, and 2,200, 22, 23, and 22, 3, 3, but you get 2,300, and 2,200, but you get $2,300, 22 here and 3, and 2,200, but you get 23, and 23, I'm 22, but you get 2,300, and 2,300. Anybody else? 2,300. What do you think? And 22. Would you give 2,300? Sold at $2,200. Buyer number 2. 257.
All right, item number 4. This is for a trip to fabulous Tuscany, Italy. Get ready for 7 unforgettable nights for 2 in the breathtaking region of Tuscany. Stay in your very own charming 1-bedroom apartment, immersing yourself in the heart of Italian culture and beauty. Tuscany is famous all over the world for its wine and gastronomic culture, and during your stay, you will have the chance to experience all of it. One day during your visit, you and your guest will be welcomed into the coolest wine bar in town for a fun and informative wine tasting focused on Tuscan wines. On another day of your stay, you and your guest will be invited to enjoy a cool food experience at a local restaurant located just a few steps from your apartment, where you'll learn about the culinary traditions and techniques of the Tuscan cuisines. And afterwards, you move to the dining room. You can feast on the fruits of your labor.
Here we go. Trip to fabulous Tuscany, Italy. And how many dollars there would you give? 2,000. Give 2, make it over to get 2,000 here and 2, 2 would you get 2, 2, 3, 3 would you get 3. 2,000 would you get 3,000, 2,000 here and 3, and 2,000 would you get 3, 3 would you get 3, 2,000 here and 3, 3 would you get 3 would you get 3,000, and 2,000 would you give 2,500, 2,025, and 2,000 would you get 2,500, 2,000 here and 25, and 2,000 would you get 25, 25 would you get 25, 25 would you get 25, and 25, and 3,000, and 3,000. 2,500, but you get 3,000, and 2,500, 3, and 2,500, 3, 3, but you get 3, 25 here and 3, and 2,500 was 25, but you get 3,000, 2,500 now 3, and 3,000 now 3,500, and 3,000, but you get 3,500, and 3,000, 35, 35, but you get 3,500, and 3,000, but you get 3,500. What do you think? And 3,000, I tell you what, would you give 3,600? It was worth asking, right? 3,000, but you get 3,100. 3,000, but you get 3,000, but you get 3,100. And 3,000, but you get 31, 3,200. And 31, 2, 2, but you get 2, 31, 32, 33. And 33, 3,400. And 34, 34, but you get $3,400. 33 here and 34. And 3,500, 35, 3,600. And 35, but you get 3,600. I've got the money. And 35, but you get 3,600. 35 here and 6. And 35, but you get 3,600 now. And 3,600, 3,600. And 35, but you get 3,600, and 36, 36. Are you sure? Anybody else? 3,600, 35, but you get 3,600. One more time. Yes, now 3,700, and 36, $3,700, and 37, 3,800, and 37 here and 80. What do you give 830? Thank you for what you did do. And 37 here and 38, 30. What do you get 3,800? Anybody else? 3,800. Sold it $3,700. 249's your buyer. 249's your buyer. I'm going to come back over here and ask you, do you really want to go to Italy? Would you do it for the same money he paid? Excuse me? 3,700. That's all. And it's going for a superior cause. Thank you. 112 is going to go to Italy also. Anybody else want to go to Italy for $3,700? $3,700. Here's your opportunity. Giving you the chance, just raise that bid card. Anybody else? All righty. We appreciate what you both did. Next up.
All right. I think this is super cool. It is dinner for up to 10 with our very own Bobby Joe Reed. Indulge in an exclusive dinner prepared by none other than Bobby Joe. If you thought tonight's meal was amazing, you just wait for this one. You and up to 10 guests will enjoy a gourmet meal complete with a decadent dessert, either in the comfort of your home or at hers. Bobby Joe will personally sign copies of her book and entertain you with captivating stories and tales from her journey. This promises to be a night you won't forget, an unforgettable experience with delicious food and great company.
There you go. The one and only Bobby Joe Reed. There we go. And dinner for 10. Your home or hers. Dinner for 10. And what do you give there? What do you give $1,000? Give $1,000, make it now what do you get 1,000? Now 1,100, what do you get 12? And 13, what do you get 14? 1,500 and 14 and 15, 15, what do you get 1,500? 14 here and 15 and 14, what do you get $1,500? 14 here and I've got you 14. Need 1,500, 14 here and 15 and 14 here and 15, 15, what do you get $1,500? 14 here and 15 and 15, 16. New player in the game, 15 here and 16 and 1,600. 15 here and what do you get 16 and 15 here, what do you get 16? What do you 1,600? 16 now 17 and 16 here and 17 here and 18 what do you give 1,800 and 17 here and 18 what do you give $1,800 and 17 here and 18 what do you give 1,800 and 17 $1,800 is all. 10 people 17 1,800 and 17 here and 18 you won't get another host like that. And 17 here and 18 what do you give 1,800? 17 here what do you give 18? Anybody else? 17 here and 1,800. Sold it $1,700. 157. 157. Tell you what, I'm going to give you that same opportunity. You'll take it. What's your number, sir? 356 is going to do it also. 356. Bobby, what do you think? Put your hands in the air if you want the dinner for 10 for the same money. She's willing to work really, really hard, as she already does. Anybody else? 1,700. There we go. 120 wants to do that. Anybody else? $1,700. Anybody else? Give you a minute. Well, we had that discussion, but we're okay. All right. Okay. We appreciate what you did. Thank you, Bobby. That's going to be great.
Okay. Does anybody want to be a DJ for the day with me on Q104 from 6 till 10 a.m.? This is the ultimate country music experience. We'll have a lot of fun. I can tell you this, if you have a business, this is 4 hours of promotion for your business. So I will just tell you that. We can talk all about your business. You got a podcast you want to promote? We can promote your podcast. Whatever you want to do. I'm also going to throw in concert tickets. It's my goal to throw in Jelly Roll tickets. I talked a lot about him in my speech. That's going to be a huge show. And I'm going to throw in, no matter what, concert tickets. I'll try to get you a meet and greet. Let's see what we can get for this.
Well, I tell you what, that's an opportunity now to hang out with her at the radio station. On the radio, no doubt. They get to talk a little bit on the radio, maybe?
You can talk on the radio. Oh, yeah, you're going to co-host. I mean, this is work.
They could maybe even sing or something?
We're going to, listen, you can pick the music. Yeah, a lot of you said, who likes country music? There's some country music lovers in this room. You said that at the beginning, right? So let's see what we can do here. It's a lot of fun. You'll have a good time. Don't be nervous.
Here we go, DJ for one day. And how many dollars there? Would you give 500? If 5, make it 5, 600. 500, would you give 600? And 5 here, 6, 7, somebody give 7, 600, would you 7, 8? 800, would you get 8? Would you give 8, ma'am? 800, now 9, now 1,000, and 1,100. Down here, 11, somebody give 1,100, down to 11, 12, and 1,300, now 14. And 13 in, and 14 more, would you give 14 in, and 15, 50, would you give 15, 16, and 17, 18, 1,900. Now 2,000 and 1,900. Would you get 2? 2 would you get 2,000? 2,100 and 2,100. 22, sir. And 23. 3 would you get 23? 24 and 2,500. 24 here and 5. 25, 6 and $2,600. 27 and 27. Somebody get $2,700. 26 here and 7 and 26 here and 7. 27. New player and 2,800 and 28 here to 9. Now would you get 2,900? Would you get 3,000 and 3? 3 would you get 3? 3,000. Now 3,100 and 3,000. 31. 2. 2 would you get 2? 31 here and 3,200 and 32, 33 and $3,300 is all. And 32 here and 3, 3. Would you get 3? 32 here and 30. You're in. And 32 here. What's that? You're in, ma'am. Yep, you're in. 3,200. Need 3,300, 32 here and 3. You look like a DJ. And 3,300, 32 here and 3. And 32 here and 3, 3. Would you get 3? 32 here and 3,300. And 32 here and 3, 3. Are you done? And 32 here and 3, 3. Would you get 3,300? Remember the cause. And 32 here and 3, 3. Would you get 3,300? Sold it, $3,200.
Thank you.
Your number, 258. Guess what? You get the opportunity. 241.
Yay! Oh my gosh, thank you.
Wants to do that also. What do you think, Jenny? Should we sell some more?
It's hard for me to hear you.
Should we sell some more? We've sold 2.
You can do 2. We did 2.
We did 2?
Yeah, we did 2.
Do you want to do 3?
My show.
First
Do what we
card in
want.
the air.
Come on, let's do it again.
First card in the air I see gets to be a DJ for a day. First card in the air. I guess we're done with that. Well, I appreciate everybody bidding and the money you've spent, and you know what the cause is, and we'll talk about that a little bit later here yet. But thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate it. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. If I'm not mistaken now, I think that we've got a video that's going to talk about what we were going to try to raise some money for next. So with that.
Does Bobby Joe come up, I think? Yeah, Bobby Joe, you coming back up?
Oh, Bobby Joe's going to introduce it. Let's give a round of applause. It's too quiet in here. Bobby Joe's got all this energy. We got to give it back to her.
Thank you, honey. You guys, that was awesome. She got a lot more money than my dinner. I'm a little resentful, but okay. That's okay, I guess. Okay, so we're going to play a video. This is our original haul. Now, I got to say this. Let's play, okay. So the vision is, what we have seen is that 1 person in 6 is going to be adversely affected by addiction. And so that touches all of our lives pretty much. A lot of us, I remember my mom and dad used to say, make sure your hair and makeup's done so nobody would know about my addiction, right? But we all know somebody that has an addiction problem. And we all know that the family is crushed by addiction. And we need to help the children. We need to help the loved ones understand what they're going through, and we need to be supportive for the whole family. And that's really, somebody was talking about it. Okay, we are a peer-ran organization, right? We are the first peer-ran organization to ever get 2 CARF accreditations. That's never happened before, okay? Give it up, that's amazing. Where is Anna? Where's Anna? Where you at, Anna? Anna has worked her tail off. Where you at? Oh, she's out working. That's okay. Anna is amazing. And she has worked and learned and got all this accreditation for us. And we're getting ready to get C-Star accreditation. So you guys, we have gotten paid $25.88 a day to house, clothe, and feed the people that we serve. Think about one day at a hospital. That's all their counseling, the food they need, the hygiene products, beautiful houses to live in for $25.88 a day. You can't even do that for your own family, right? Think about meals. So when we get the C-Star, we will be able, that will over double the amount that we get per day. We'll be able to take Medicaid. That's a game changer for us. My people that work for me, I have an employment specialist that gets people jobs paying $20 an hour, and he makes $16. Joey works his tail off. Everybody at Healing House works because what Healing House gave them, and it's about passion and loving people and giving the gift back what they were given. And so finally, we'll be able to pay our people a comparable wage to some other places, because I need to keep them. They're amazing people with passionate hearts and the same spirit as me. So let's share the video. Now, the money we raise tonight is going to go towards our family programming. This is our vision. I want to show you that. This is our vision of what our original hall would look like if you guys make it happen, because I can't. So check it out. It's beautiful. And this way, we'll be able to help not only our families, but families in our community. So let's take a look at the video. Oh, look at that. That's cute. I don't think...
Tonight, we celebrate a new chapter in our journey of hope and transformation. We are thrilled to reintroduce our capital campaign to raise funds for the Family Enrichment Center. This center, located in the original Hall building, will be a beacon of healing for families in our community. For the first time in the history of Healing House, we will be able to materially offer clinical services to individuals in recovery who are not residing in our facilities. This means more people from the Kansas City community can access our life-changing recovery services.
Well, with the clinical services, they get access to a counselor and they get assessed, and based on their assessment, they get access to certain resources and services based on their own treatment plan that they make. And so they make their own goals. And, you know, some people haven't actually made any goals in their life. They don't have dreams that they've been able to meet. So helping them attain those little goals with wraparound services with the clinical staff and then with the CPSs, we're really able to reach them in a holistic way.
Knowing that the staff went through the exact same thing that I've gone through, that I'm going through right now, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable. It makes me feel a lot more confident. I feel like I'm able to do it.
Hi, everyone. We've got exciting news. We know that addiction affects the whole family, and so we are very excited to announce the original hall is going to be converted to the Family Enrichment Center. We will have family therapy there, dedicated space for the kiddos, and also group counseling rooms with family therapists and counselors. It affects the whole family, so we want to help the whole family and help the family to recover and to stop the chain of addiction. The impact of the Family Enrichment Center is going to help our families that we serve as well as the other families in our community. So we are very excited to announce this, and we're ready to go.
On the second floor, we will establish 3 apartments providing safe and supportive housing for 8 to 9 adults and their children. These homes will provide stability and a nurturing environment for families as they rebuild their lives. Your support is crucial in bringing this vision to life. By contributing to the Family Enrichment Center, you are investing in the future of families, empowering them with the tools and resources they need to overcome addiction and build a brighter future. Please consider financially supporting this essential expansion of Healing House services. Together, we can bring hope, healing, and reunification to countless families in our community. Thank you for being a part of our Healing House family. Together, we are changing lives and building a stronger, healthier Kansas City.
All right. So that is our dream. That's our vision. I want to thank everybody for already giving so generously and showing up tonight. And thank you, Church of the Resurrection, for letting us have this event space. We were at a big fancy place last year and spent way too much money. It killed me. I'm like, we're doing it cheaper this year. And I think the food's better, just saying, you know. So I'm asking you all to, you guys are amazing, but we need to make this happen for all the people that we serve. It's, you know what? As we have went through these last 21 years, God has shown what's the next thing, what's the next thing. And it's about breaking down barriers and making recovery possible for everybody. I had 6 of my kids, past kids, die within 2 weeks. And I want to say something about my family, all my kids. Most of them don't have great jobs, but some of my folks don't even have somebody that will cremate them or bury them. And we pass a basket. It costs $700 to have somebody cremated, and my kids put their own money into that basket so one of their brothers or sisters can be cremated or buried. I'm telling you what, my kids are the most amazing, creative people. We've just been lost, right? And we don't know how to get better on our own. We have to have support and help and people that are going to love us till we can love ourselves. You guys, we are the real deal. There's no place like Healing House on the face of the earth. And the work we're doing, just think about if you could save one life, how big a deal would that be to you? We get to save lots of lives. And I tell people, don't be it's heartbreaking when we lose somebody, but you know what? We're helping people and we're planting seeds in every person that walks through our doors. Seeds of hope, seeds of love, and encouragement. I remember not thinking I should even be alive, and I didn't know how to get better. But I went to a free treatment center downtown that had a milk crate next to my bed with Kool-Aid, and I was so sick I couldn't even hold the Kool-Aid up to my mouth to get a drink. We had people come in with no ID, no clothes, no nothing, and guess what? We take them from the floor up and build them up. We help them get IDs, clothes, Social Security cards, everything they need to make this new life possible. But it takes you guys helping us. My dream is that for not another addict to die out there in the streets, not one more fentanyl overdose, not one more needless death, because guess what? God has allowed us to do this to help the people that we serve, and every life, every one of you guys' life matters. And I thank God for each and every one of you, because you guys help me every day and give me purpose to wake up, and get going. So thank you to all my kids. I love you guys. And thank you guys. And so I don't know what we're supposed to do now, but God bless you. Please give to make this dream come true if you can. If you can't, come down and volunteer at Christmas and help me wrap presents. Because there's a lot of wrapping to do. Is somebody else going to come up and take this at this point? You guys, somebody? Okay. I guess we're doing fun to cause now. I don't know what to do, so I'm just standing here. God bless you guys. I think he's going to finish it off. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for making all this possible, and God bless you guys.
Thank you, Bobby Joe. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. Well, folks, here's where the rubber hits the road. We all know why we're here, and I appreciate that you're here, number one, because I know you care, because you're here. You know, it'd be very easy to stay home, not help, but you have a heart that wants to help. I know you do, because you're here. And I ask you tonight to reach deep into your heart. You see the need, and this thing has grown. I mean, I don't know how many times I've watched that documentary. I just can't believe the vision that Bobby Joe had and where it's at today. But it didn't happen on her own, and she'll tell you that. It took her faith in God, and it takes people like you that are willing to share, willing to carry some of that load. And that's what we're asking you tonight. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask for a number increment. And all I ask of you is if you are willing to, or you can, or you will, give at that level, just raise your bid card. And if you do, no matter where we're at in this part of the program, please raise your bid card and hold it in the air until I call your number. I want you to be recognized, and thank you personally for what you're doing. So our first, and let me say this, if you don't care, just for a second. I'm just totally amazed at the help that Healing House gives. Wrote a couple of notes, and it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came to my mind after, watching the documentary and talking to folks that are involved in this program. And it's just things that came And one of them is, especially in the documentary, you see where people come in, and it's a light for somebody that no doubt is probably in the darkest day of their life at that point. And what kind of courage does it take to walk up there, knock on a door, however you got there, and air your life? That's what you're doing. That's what they're doing. Is, you know, I'm a struggling drug addict or an alcoholic or both or whatever the case might be. Think of the courage. How many people today sitting here would do that? I mean, there's an opportunity there, and that has spread and spread throughout this part of the country, knowing that there's somewhere to go, that there is hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel there. Courage to stand and ask for the help that you desperately need, and to be able to change your life. That opportunity to change your life. But anyway, I'm going to ask an increment, and if you could, we would ask you to, if you possibly could, to raise your bid card, and we want to acknowledge you for that. Our first increment I'm going to ask for is $10,000 donation. Anybody in the room would like to donate $10,000? Thank you. 241. 241. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anybody else in the room would like to donate at that level of $10,000? Your support's more than a donation, it's hope. Think about it. Anybody else? $10,000. Give you just a minute. It's a lot of money, I understand that. But it's a cost. Thank you. 156. Thank you, sir. $10,000. It takes a lot to do that, and we're thankful that you do. I'll give you just a minute just to think about it. Look deep in your heart. If you can do it, please do. That's what we're asking you. Anybody else? One more time at the $10,000 level. Okay? Thank you for what you did. The $5,000 level, it's a mother's first chance at healing, a child's opportunity to grow up free from the shadow of addiction, and a family's pathway to restoration. Now that's unbelievable. Anybody in the room tonight that could donate at the $5,000 level? 118 does. Thank you, sir. Thank you. 321 does 5,000. Thank you, sir. 363 gives at 5,000. Thank you, sir. 128. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. 233 gives at the $5,000 level. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else that feels it in their heart that they'd like to give at that level? We'll wait just a minute. No hurry. I'm amongst some super people here, so I'm in no hurry at all. 152. Thank you, ma'am. Donates at the $5,000 level. Anybody else as we wait just a minute? Anybody else? Every little bit helps, no matter what it is. All right. We appreciate what you did. At the $2,500 level, comprehensive support. By adding the licensed clinical social worker, Healing House will provide more participants with individualized care plans, addressing both addiction recovery and underlying health challenges, ensuring a stronger foundation for long-term success. Who would like to, tonight, donate at that $2,500 level? Please raise your bid cards. Thank you. 319, thank you, sir. 254, thank you, sir. At the $2,500 level, anybody? You heard what Bobby said, where the money's needed, and that's why we're here. That's again, that's where the rubber hits the road. It is. It's folks like you supporting this that changes so many lives each day. Anybody else at the $2,500 level? This is your opportunity. I don't want to miss anybody. 124. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. If we are done there, I'll give you another second. I don't want to miss anybody. And I know you're thinking about it. I know you're thinking really hard, and I appreciate that. Okay. At the $1,000 level, Family Healing, a licensed marriage and family therapist, will help participants rebuild relationships with their loved ones, breaking the cycle of addiction and creating healthier, more supportive family dynamics. Well, that's worth $1 million, if you think about it, right? Who would like to give at the $1,000 level? Please keep your cards in the air. 362, thank you, sir. 326, thank you, sir. 325, thank you, sir. 282, thank you, ma'am. 107, thank you, sir. 253, thank you, ma'am. 122, thank you, ma'am. 356, didn't want to miss you. 356, thank you, ma'am. 106, thank you, sir. 285, thank you, ma'am. 244, thank you, sir. 361, thank you, sir. 157, thank you, sir. 115, thank you, sir. 322, thank you, ma'am. 117, thank you, sir. 116, thank you, sir. 211, thank you, ma'am. 151, thank you, ma'am. 359, thank you, sir. 278, thank you, sir. 111, thank you back there, sir. 327, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give yourselves a hand. I mean, you are helping people. You are literally saving lives. You are literally saving families. We appreciate that. While we give you another minute, anybody else at that $1,000 level? We'll take all we can get. Anybody else? All right. It gets quiet in here. $500 level, holistic care. With these new staff members, Healing House can offer a more holistic approach to recovery, addressing emotional, mental, and relational health alongside addiction treatment, leading to more effective, lasting recovery. That's at the $500 level. Raise your card, please. If you'd like to give at the $500 level, please keep them in the air. 257, thank you. 114, thank you, ma'am. 328, thank you, sir. 245, thank you. 113, thank you. 365, thank you. 261, thank you. 109, thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. 160 or 153, thank you. 351, thank you. 110, thank you. 239, thank you. 276, thank you. 108, thank you. 243, we thank you. 158, we thank you, sir. 259, thank you. 357, thank you. 360, thank you. I didn't miss anybody, did I? There we are. 262, thank you. We got another one. 282, thank you. Anybody else at that $500 level? Right here, 358, thank you. Anybody else at the $500 level? You're saving lives, I'm telling you. You are saving lives. The page is stuck. Still quiet in here. There we go. Okay. At the $250 level. $250 level. Stronger outcomes. The addition of a licensed clinical social worker and a marriage and family therapist will enhance Healing House's ability to serve not just the individual in recovery, but also the entire family, increasing the likelihood of sustained sobriety and overall well-being. And that's just at the $250 level. That's what we're asking. If you would like to donate at that $250 level, please raise your bid cards. 343, thank you, sir. 103, thank you, sir. 260, thank you. 242, thank you, ma'am. 333, thank you. 121, thank you. Anybody else at that $250 level? 120, thank you. 208, thank you. Anybody else? $250 level. Anybody else while we wait just a second? You folks are unbelievable. You are so kind and loving to do what you do to support this organization and everything that's involved. I'm just truly amazed at the heart. You feel that heartfelt love in this group. You honestly do. You honestly do. Or I do, I'm sure. Our final level, and I'd like to challenge you just a little bit. I appreciate absolutely everybody that's donated and those that haven't and maybe can't. You know, I appreciate every bit of that. But what I'd like to do at this last level is $100. I would like to see if we could get virtually every bid card in the air and make me go hoarse calling your numbers off. At the $100 level, would you please raise your bid cards if you're willing to give at that number? Keep them in the air if you would. All right, keep them in the air. 354, thank you. 284, thank you, ma'am. 240, thank you, sir. 255, thank you. I got you, sir. 204, thank you. 282, thank you. 210, thank you. 202, thank you, sir. 105, thank you, ma'am. 264, thank you, ma'am. 340, thank you, ma'am. 367, thank you. 279, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. 242, thank you, ma'am. 260, thank you. 2342, thank you, ma'am. 154, thank you, sir. 122, we thank you. 235, we thank you. 283, we thank you. 256, we thank you. Here we go. 327, we thank you. Anybody else like to give at that $100 level? Oh, 202. Anybody else like to give at that $100 level? 281. 281 did. Anybody else? At the $100 level. 364, thank you, sir. Anybody else while you're thinking about it? I tell you what, I appreciate it. You folks are absolutely super. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of your life in this event tonight. It's something I'll never forget. Hope we're back. I truly believe in this. I truly believe in what you're doing. I truly believe that you are heartfelt in everything you do and in everything you give. Thank you for raising those funds for the Healing House. And safe travels tonight, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, truly, for your generosity tonight, for showing up, and just for all of the support to Healing House. Bobby Joe, just one more time, just for Bobby Joe and her big heart. And for the fabulous wait staff tonight, extra stand-up round of applause for our Healing House participants for their hard work tonight and their hard work in life. Thank you for letting me share my story tonight about my brother. I have to tell you, it keeps catching my eye that up on that screen it says 4-4, and there's a 0 there, but there's also a 4. So I know he's with me tonight in this room. So have a wonderful night. Thank you again for your generosity, and God bless each and every one of you.
In the heart of Kansas City, never lost my own. Healing House, a beacon, finds them far from home. Open arms and weary hearts, they gather around. In that house of healing, hope is found. Every soul a story, etched in lines of despair. Family born from strangers, love and care. shadows of addiction into the light. The healing house whispers everything's alright. Welcome home, where the broken find their mend. In this harbor, let your journey begin. Healing house stands where the lost become found. In the family we've gathered, love knows no bounds. Table set for supper, a new day unfolds. In the rooms of comfort, tales of courage told. Laughter cuts through sorrow, music in the air. In the healing house, life's burdens we share. Brick by brick, heart to heart, the shelter stands.